Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you all are coming from. My name is Grayson Kahn. I am a psychic, intuitive energy healer and teacher. I am located in Riverton, Utah, and I run my own healing practice in person as well as online. And so today I wanted to share with all of you what financial wound healing is, okay? And I have some notes here, so I gotta keep myself organized so I don't go on long tangents. But the big three questions that I want to talk about are, what is it? What is financial wound healing? How do we get it? And why is it such a big deal? Why does it affect us to the extent it does affect us, okay? So if you're like me and you grew up in poverty, you grew up with lack, like your whole life basically, and your family members were narcissistic, okay, that plays a huge role on us physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, okay? If you grew up listening to adult figures around you constantly say things like, I've sacrificed so much for you, I've done everything I can for you, they're throwing up your basic physiological needs in your face constantly. That's a common narcissistic tactic. That unfortunately trains you in childhood. It brainwashes you to expect like the bare minimum as your maximum. It trains you to believe there's this deeply rooted subconscious belief that your basic needs is like the best that it gets, right? Which is why a lot of us struggle to break out of this financial mental enslavement prison, because you're like, well, I get this job and no matter how much money I make, I still just can't maintain a savings. I can't maintain a decent income, right? I can't have lack, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. That was always said to me when I was growing up. And so, yeah, all of that makes a huge impact, and our brains are super malleable, like basically our whole lives, but in the beginning from the womb stage to about age 10, we're very susceptible to belief systems, programmings, conditionings, right? We're relying on our older figures for survival. So of course we're going to take on all of those belief systems, all of those programmings, all of those conditionings so that we can literally survive. And that is why a lot of us remain in survival mode moving into adulthood, because nobody has any idea how to break out of that cycle, all of those cycles, and to collapse that old self and step into your authentic self. And your authentic self is the energy that you basically just return to. It's like this childhood essence kind of energy, right? So if you went through any kind of childhood abuse, obviously, like me, you're not going to remember a lot of your childhood, but before age 6, even before age 5, age 4, can you remember that feeling of anything is possible? This planet just felt so big and so abundant, and you could do anything, you could become anybody, right? Like everything just felt infinite. And that is what I'm here to guide you to, is to guide you back home to yourself, okay? We have strayed so far away from ourselves for survival purposes, and many other reasons, right? But mainly survival. And so it's all about coming home to yourself. So I'm going to help you guys do that. And the second thing I wanted to address is how. How do we get all of these programmings and conditionings just lodged there, right? So trauma, especially if you are involved in a financially abusive relationship. Personally, for me, my grandfather was very financially abusive. He would literally print out a list of things that he wanted me to do for him, and then he would give me money, okay? Like, it was a very toxic dynamic, and the reason why he did that, and he knew he could get away with that, is because my dad was a major dusty. He never provided for me and my twin sister. Like, my mom was a single mom. She worked from sun up to literally 11 p.m. all the time. Like, she worked her butt off for 3 kids. So that set up the perfect environment for chaos, dysfunction, poverty, lack, right? And so my grandfather was my dad's father, okay? And when I tapped into that bloodline, when I was doing energy healing on myself, I was working with this archangel, Metatron, and we went back through the bloodline and just cleared a bunch of poverty that was just thousands of years just ingrained in the genetics and everything. And so I actually teach you guys how to do that in my financial wound healing course. So if you're interested, definitely check that out on my website. I'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But yeah, so all of this energy wounding that we get, so trauma, the financial abuse, right? The narcissistic abuse, we actually store narcissistic tendencies in the front and the back end of our throat chakra, okay? So if you're somebody who constantly has throat issues, like getting strep throat, sore throats whenever you get sick, that is a huge indicator of anger issues and narcissistic tendencies. So when you're growing up around narcissistic family members, oh my gosh, it is like 100% inevitable that you're going to absorb that energy at some point in your journey. So yeah, also programmings, belief systems, thought patterns. Personally, I never got brainwashed into religion because for whatever reason, I always just refused it. So my mother was Catholic and my dad was Jewish. And I just remember like being a kid and watching them walk around, and my grandma too. Like I remember watching her walk around in her home and just like spewing out her beliefs like a robot. And I was just like, this is so weird. Like, I don't want to believe in something that I have to fear. Like, I'm already in survival mode, extreme survival mode, right? And, believing in a fear-based God that just wasn't my thing. I was like, no, I'm going to die. I'm going to die if I believe in that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I feel like religious programming adds to another energetic layer of trauma around this infinite growth mindset, this infinite innate birthright that exists, this innate birthright of abundance that exists. It's like all of these layers of programming and conditioning and belief systems all suffocate our innate birthright of abundance and wealth and all that. So it's really just about peeling the layers of the onion back and just letting all of that old stuff go. Because once you let old stuff go, you now have energetic space for more, right? So yeah, also I want to talk about ancestral baggage, okay, how that can set you back on a physical genetic level and also energetic. So I actually teach you guys how to heal your Akashic records and do some genetic healing in my course as well. So I actually went to university and I double majored in chemistry and biology. So I really thoroughly understand how that stuff works, and I can actually feel like my DNA unlock and heal. It's really cool when I've done that healing on myself. And yeah, all of this abuse that we endure in our upbringing really affects us physically. So it affects our neurobiology. It literally affects our nervous system, right? All of that trauma it's literally subconsciously forming thoughts, behaviors, and patterns, okay? It's so deep, guys. And so yeah, with that being said, it affects us mentally, emotionally, how we feel, right? So a lot of us who grew up around narcissistic family members, we blocked off feeling. We don't give ourselves permission to feel because, God forbid, we're vulnerable and that causes problems and we get attacked and our basic physiological needs are threatened. And so we close off emotionally, and it's literally impossible to feel grateful. It's impossible to feel happy, to feel any kind of emotion deeply when you have just blocked yourself off out of survival emotionally. And so anyway, yeah, I talk about in my course how to heal that as well. One thing I do want to share is I had an out-of-body experience back in 2020. And I looked down at my heart. It was a massive golden light portal, like out of my body. And so I learned from that out-of-body experience that we all have the ability, whether you're into spirituality or not, we have the ability to go into meditation and connect with that space and download energies, frequencies, experiences that are going to align you to your next highest vibrational timeline. So your next step, your next up level. Okay. So it's really cool, and take advantage of that. So it'll help you a lot in your life. And then, yeah, it also affects us spiritually, right? Like all of that trauma is just suffocating our innate worthiness, our innate deservingness, our innate abundance, our innate wealth, our innate prosperity. Okay. Everything that is our innate birthright on a soul level, all of that trauma is suffocating it. So it's all about removing that trauma and just paving the way to your next levels. Okay. And so the last question is the why. Why go through all of this? There are so many answers, but I'm just going to kind of simplify it. So obviously we have something called soul contracts that we write on the other side before coming into this incarnation to go through certain experiences to gain wisdom for our soul, to gain soul wisdom, and to learn certain karmic lessons. And it's so funny, the kinds of things we contract for the different lessons. For example, one of my biggest karmic lessons in this lifetime was learning to let go. Huge for me, because I had to, it gives me chills. I had to basically let go of everything I knew in order to step into everything that I actually wanted and desired. This rich lifestyle that I so desire, this financially free lifestyle I so desire, this healthy lifestyle that I so desire, peaceful lifestyle I so desire, I had to let go of everything in my life that was familiar. Because everything that was familiar was chaotic, was dysfunctional, was toxic, and that all affects the energy of money flowing into your life, okay? It affects your capacity and your ability to say that you're ready to receive. Okay. It really affects your feminine energy. And so, yeah, in order to level up financially, it's not going to be a perfect journey, but you're going to be going through growing pains of gaining money and losing money and understanding how to work with the energy of money. So that comes in with number 3, my big point, which is financial discipline and responsibility, and also conscious awareness. So when you are able to embody financial discipline, like truly discipline yourself financially, that will heal your masculine energy on the deepest level of yourself, okay? This planet and the collective so needs masculine healing bad. And I truly believe that is one of the reasons why a lot of souls incarnated and took on poverty and lack, because it actually heals the masculine on a deep level. And also, common sense, being responsible with energy, right? Like, if you think about it, would you just give your 5-year-old kid like $500 and be like, good luck? No, you wouldn't do that. You would be like, no, like, let's, put $10 in your savings. Let's put this here. And you would teach them financial discipline, financial responsibility with their money, right? Because money is an energy. It needs to flow. It needs to move. It needs to be diverse, okay? And diversity is key. And I also discuss a little bit about that in my course as well. So if you're curious about how to start diversifying your money, I go into that in one of the sections in my course. And then last but not least, bringing conscious awareness around your money. So I've noticed personally that when I got a check register, okay, and I started a budget on Excel, I realized that I was directing all of my focus and my energy and my conscious awareness into my money, what was coming in and what was going out. And ever since I started doing that, it was like I just started expanding my energy and my capacity to receive more and spend more. And the more that I focused on that discipline and responsibility, the more it started expanding, okay? Because when the universe feels, right, because it connects on an emotional level, it feels like that you feel that you're ready to take on more. You are ready to take on more responsibility, more energy. Your energy is able to deal with more financial energy. The universe is going to go, okay, here you go. okay, here you go. And it's like, it's so effortless, you know? And so, yeah. That's all I want to talk about today. I could really talk about this stuff for hours. So I really wanted to address the common roots of the financial problems that lots of us experience on an upbringing perspective, and yeah, be able to provide you guys with some solutions to pave you up to a different path and really make a huge difference in your lives. And so if you are interested in diving deeper into the energy healing aspect of this, learning new cool things and really truly mastering that discipline and that responsibility, be sure to check out my website at www.zenwithgrayson.com. I guide you guys on a journey to financial liberation, and I teach you how to heal yourself. I teach you how to practice energy healing on yourself, and that empowers you guys that there is no energy more powerful than you, and you can do anything. And you guys got this, and I believe in you.